Hello, and welcome back to the Successful Soul podcast. I am so excited to have you here today. I am your host, Natalie Schlute, and today I am interviewing an absolutely incredible woman and mother who has manifested some phenomenal things in her life over the last year that she has been with me in Soul Mastery School. Her story is so transformative and just a testament to her dedication. And I wanted to share this with you because when you realize that when you commit to yourself, when you commit to change, you can make anything happen. She took the tools that I have given her through all of my course education, meditations, exercises, and work, and she just ran with it. She has so much power behind her because of how she chose to show up for her own life and her family. She is a mother of nine children now. And she has done some incredible work. She's come so far over the last few years with getting clean off of drugs and manifesting more money at work, for manifesting, free things for her kids, furniture, a new home, all of these incredible things that came what seems almost so seamlessly, but she really did put in the work. She put in the work by aligning her energy, aligning her habits, her thoughts, and her actions. And it's truly inspirational when you see how far she's come in such a very short period of time. So without further ado, I am so honored and excited to have you listening to this episode specifically. Here we are, the interview with Brittney. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited. Today, I have such an amazing guest, Brittney. She is one of my Soul Mastery School students, and we've been chatting right before we hit record, and she has so many amazing things in her life that have manifested. I'm just so honored to be a part of her journey, and I'm so excited for her to inspire and share with all of you all these amazing things that she's been going through. So, Brittney, if you want to do a quick little intro about who you are, and just introduce yourself.
So I'm Brittney Augustine. I'm a mother of four with one on the way now to be my fifth one.
Mhm.
I have a amazing fiance who has four kids himself.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here. First, for everyone, just to get the through line of your story and what you've been through, let's start with where you were before you joined Soul Mastery School. Like, what were your big struggles? What were you wanting to manifest? And where was your mind in your life before you joined? And I can't remember how long you've been in the coursework as well, but if you can give a timeline on that so that people kind of have an idea.
2 years before I started in January, my life was a mess. Like my head was a mess. I was having another child, my fourth child, and the dad was not working out. I was doing drugs at the time, and then I met my boyfriend when I actually gave up on the last one and started trying to love myself. I didn't understand it at all then, but trying. And with him, I quit meth 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and then Adderall a little over a year ago. And during all like I had postpartum bipolar and just a lot of things. I split my head open. I cried in a closet, wanted to die for a long time. And then I got this feeling like you're going to be okay, like washed over me. And after that, I decided to quit the alcohol, that it wasn't working. And my boyfriend quit with me. And then we lost our place. We moved into my aunt's, but we had been already working on like self love and trying to build yourself up after quitting so that you didn't go back. And I was like still struggling. I wrote a book about it and I was still struggling and just wanted a life coach so bad in my life. So I prayed one day, and the very next day I found Natalie on YouTube. And when I found her, she just made sense. Everything she said was stuff that I'd like been catching from here or there, but her words just made complete sense. And then I found her mastery class, and she responded back so fast that I was like, oh my God, this has to be like. And back then, I seriously didn't know if I'd ever be a stable mom again, ever. Like, I had half of my kids. My other two kids were with their dad because I had no place to put them. Joe couldn't see his four kids at the time. And then I started this class in January, and all of that's changed.
Yeah, I remember that because we actually got on a call. We did a
Yep.
Zoom call. We were face to face. You were telling me what was going on in your life, and I completely understood and resonated with you because I had done the whole drug thing, kind of been down that road. You were transitioning and ready for something new, and at that time, I think you were transitioning. You didn't even have housing for you and your kids. And
No, we were in my aunt's basement. We had one
yeah.
room that we shared with 4 people and 2 dogs, and 2 of my other kids slept on the floor when they could come over. Like,
Mhm.
we were
I
really
remember that.
transitioning.
Yeah, and your whole situation there were just so many things in transition and so many things that the average person would have been looked at their life and been like, "Oh my goodness, this is hopeless." But you were at that point where you were so ready to make a change, and we got on a call. And what was it that allowed you to take the leap of faith? Because even at that time, like financially, it was challenging for you to invest in soul
Oh, it
mastery
was very
school, but you
challenging.
you made the decision that you were going to do it no matter what. And so what allowed you to take that leap of faith and invest in yourself and your life?
So, really, your words did, because I was
Mhm.
already, like, on the cusp, but when I got on the call with you, I remember you telling me that the fact that I quit Adderall on my own and that we both had it meant that we jumped quantum leaps on our own. And that just stuck in my head, and then you said something about, if you can spend money on something else, like, why can't you spend it on yourself? And that, like, really hit too. And I was like, you know what? That's one thing I've never done. I came in this world with no boundaries, complete, like, very codependent. It's even in my life path, like, likable or codependent is my instinct in life. So, like, anything I ever had, I gave away. I never did anything for myself. So I was like, you know what? I could just blow this money on something, but I'm gonna try this. Like, I'm gonna try it. And then after I started, I tell everybody about it. And I've taught my boyfriend and my children. So it's made a huge impact on our life.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the whole goal of this coursework that I've created is not only for each individual to master it, but this is knowledge and wisdom that I want people to just continue to share and teach through embodiment and teach through, hey, look what I did. This is how I shifted my mind. This is how I changed my actions. This is how I'm showing up for life now, and it's getting results. And I absolutely love that. So what were some of your immediate goals of things that you wanted to manifest, and how have those things come into fruition?
Yeah. So my main goal was stability. Like, I just wanted to be able to be stable within myself, to be a stable mom. When I was a child, we moved around all the time. My mom never kept a place, and everything I didn't want to be in my mother, I turned out to be at that time. So I was trying to break anything. Not that I don't love my mother, don't get me wrong, but I was trying to break anything of that pattern. And once I started the class, the self-love meditation and the self-confidence meditation, like, really, like, kicked it off for me. I didn't get the self-confident one till a little later because I found it in the module, but the self-love one really helped when I was like, "Oh my god, I have so many kids here. I'm stuck in a basement. I don't know what to do." Like, I would just pop that on, and then within, like, the end of it, I was better, and then things would make more sense, like, and then I just started doing it every day, and then I started talking about it at work, and that's, like, really where, like, I would learn something from your class, and then I would go to work and share it. So I got the extra because I was teaching as I was learning. I really wanted a house and all of my kids to be together and Joe's kids to finally be with us. In the last 7 months, we've got all of that and more. Like, those were my main goals. And to understand money better so that I wasn't financially always struggling. And I came farther on the stability because I was more focused on that, but the money's improving and will improve farther.
Great. Well, and you've told me some really great stories about how now when you go to work, there's little habits and things that you've changed. Your mindset has changed, how you show up, and immediately you started getting more tips at work
Oh, yeah,
in your
and
serving job.
I can change it throughout the day, like, literally. So I can have, like, a day now where I kinda go in, like, an off mood, or something happens, like, the boss says something, and then you just get in that off mood, and you can tell it in your tips. But if I tell myself, like, "Oh, well, today might start off bad, but it's gonna be great," And then I get like this flicker in myself and then I start acting great and I'm super chipper when I go to tables and then the tips just like insanely increase. Like I've got higher tips now than I've ever got in my life. I've got a $50 tip. I've got a couple $100 tips and this is a coney, like a little coney in a small town. So the $100 tips, don't get me wrong, we're at Christmas time. But since I've done this, like I've got a $50 tip for like more than half the bill. It's just when you get in that mindset, like this is going to work out so great and I'm making great money today, it just literally like appears in front of you. And I would have never believed that before this class.
Wow,
But the
that's so
money
beautiful.
yeah, the money manifestation meditation helps a lot too. I used to listen to it on my way to work in the beginning of the
Mm.
class. So I would listen to it like on my way there to prep myself up. And then I would just say little bits of it to other people throughout the day.
Good,
And it
I
would just
love
start
that.
popping up.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about this. You really the students that get the best results are the ones that truly embody it. They do the meditations over and over again. They're reprogramming their mind. They're saying it in their own mind. They're saying it to other people. They're showing up. And I love how, your career hasn't changed yet. You're only 7 months in, but you're already making more money just because you decided, I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to be more positive. I'm going to believe it's possible for me. I'm going to walk up to a table and I'm going to give them compliments. And you're getting tips that are not the standard 10 to 20%, but 50% or more sometimes. That's absolutely incredible.
I've literally had people come up to me after I've done like the rewiring in my mind and just got in that mood because like I've got to the point now where I just put myself in a happy place and I just think like incredible things when I'm working and I write little notes to people like have a magnificent day and it like keeps me in that high vibration and it really like truly comes out. Like I had a lady come up to me and hand me $20 the other day at work and told me thank you so much for this experience. It was the best.
Oh, I
And
love
then, like,
that.
when she left, I was like, "What did I do?" Because it was so busy that I couldn't even remember what I did, but it just like, I walk up to tables when I'm in that mood, and they just instantly smile, like, you can just see, like, the thing and I paid it forward as well with doing it. I paid for single people's bills, and I did it for a lady, like, a couple weeks ago, and she started crying and said nobody had ever done it for her in life. Like, it was,
Oh, that's so sweet.
like, a really beautiful moment, but I feel like if I'm making a little more, I should share a little more every once in a while.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, and the beauty of this is not only are you receiving more, but it sounds like you're getting a lot out of it. Your mind and your emotions are at such a higher level and then you're sharing that joy with other people and they love that you're lighting up their day so much. They want to continue to reward you through that. So this entire experience, it's like a win-win-win all the way around no matter how you look at it.
yeah, it really is. And like also the class taught me that you have to become friends with your money. So it's not even just making more money because it's really cool if you make more money, but if you don't know what you're doing with it or you don't want to be friends with it like you put, then it just goes away anyways and it's not on what you want it to. Like me and my boyfriend now, well, fiance, when we pay our rent, we thank it. We thank the money for leaving because then it seems, and every month it seems easier to pay those bills and to feel good about it. Because that's something we've had a problem with in the past too, is that we could get the place, but then, trying to keep up with the finances and everything was always wishy washy. But now we're like really getting it. So we get pumped when we're going to pay a bill. Like, it's just and we spend a little bit of time with our money each week, something we never did before. So, like, all of it combined just makes such a huge difference in your life. Like, the manifestor bonus one that you have, the money manifestation bonus is amazing.
Oh, I love it. Well, I love that you're doing it together because that's something my husband and I do as well. We sit down for like an hour each week and we go through our finances and we spend that time together and honor our finances and the gratitude that we have and decide where we want things to go and manage it. And it's such a simple little thing to do and it doesn't take that much time, but it does make a difference. It makes a difference when we think about our
It makes a
relationship with
huge
everything and
difference.
anything in our life. Money's no different.
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a huge thing. I always tell people that. I'm like, "Is money your best friend?" They're like, "What?" My brother's like, "Yes, yes, it is." And I'm like, "Oh, I know, buddy."
Yeah.
He's got that built in. Like that one came in life with him.
Love it.
We were just talking about that 2 days ago, about how I was like, "Some of these mindsets you were just born with." I'm starting to realize it now, but, like, it feeds right into, like, what I've learned, like, in the successful people mindsets, like, some of it he was just programmed with,
Mhm.
and I'm now starting to get it, so it's kinda cool because I can level.
Love it. So let's talk about some of the other things that you manifested. I know you manifested your house and you manifested a baby. Tell me what those experiences were like for you over the last few months.
So I manifested my house in April, and it kind of worked out in, like, a weird timeline because I had to leave my aunt's, and I didn't know exactly where I was going, but I listened to your self confidence meditation one day and I was like, all right, well, today I'm going to find a place. And I went online and then I found this place and I hit the lady up and she guided me through it like in an like unexpected way too. Like every time I had any sense of fear, like she would like subconsciously know to call me and be like, "Hey, so I'm just checking in on you." And I just lay the fears out on her and she like dissolved them all to the point where I stayed in a hotel with my fiance and 2 daughters and 2 dogs in one little room for 3 weeks in between leaving my aunt's and getting our place, and anyone could have lost, like, hope and with doing that, and I just every time I started to, I would listen to a different meditation, or I would go for a walk, or I would start a gratitude journal, or just anything I could to get through it, and because we couldn't leave because if the dogs barked, we'd get kicked out, so I was literally stuck in a room if I wasn't at work with these kids, but I stayed really positive through it and just pushed myself through it, and every time I'd start to get anywhere, I'd just go back to some kind of learning of yours and I made it through it and got our place on the day that we were supposed to. And it came with so much more than we could have expected. Like my car broke down literally as we were getting our keys. Like we made it, we got our keys, and I'm not even sure how I got the car in the driveway because something in the front broke that steers it, and I had to like 360 in front of my brand new house to get it in. My neighbor's standing outside, but she happened to know me because she was my mom's friend from 10 years ago, and so then she offered to not only help us with rides but babysit our kids, and she's been a huge help since we moved in. We have community food here, so they come, the Salvation Army comes once a week, Gleaners comes here, and along with they have community barbecues. And not only that, but the churches at the barbecues helped us get 3 bunk bed sets, a new couch, we got a table given to us, a microwave. So not and bed sets for all of the kids. Like they all have better bed sets than me right now. Every single one of them. But we went from never having, or like when we first got together, we didn't even have enough beds for the kids we had at the house. And now the kids have their own like solid rooms, and we have a fully furnished house from nothing. And almost all of it was gratefully given to us by a church
Wow.
or or a random girl at the Coney gave us our table and our bar stools. But still, she offered and didn't have to. So that was amazing. And
That's
it
incredible. I
was
mean,
all from the work from doing here, like,
wow. I mean, what
and
a gift from
believing.
God. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, just you shifting your energy, having faith, and sticking it out. Like you said, for most people, being stuck in one hotel room for 3 weeks straight with 4 people and 2 dogs, most people would get really down. But the fact that you continued, anytime you felt down, you just went back to another lesson. You went back to another meditation. You went back to another mindset reframe, and you stayed in that faith. And then look what happened. Not only did you manifest a home, but your 4 kids, your fiance's 4 kids, they all now have fully furnished rooms and bunk beds. You have a furnished home. You're getting free food from the community. You have a community that's helping support you, plus free babysitting. I mean, this is absolutely incredible what you've done. I mean, I've helped to teach you the lessons, but you are the one who is showing up for your own life. You're showing up to the fullest potential, and all of these amazing gifts are just flooding into your life. It's really just so incredible and beautiful to see.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it feels incredible. I thankfully, and I've like manifested like the perfect support system. Like, so when
Mm.
I literally manifested you, I asked the angels, and then you were there. And then right after I started working with you, I had a problem with my boss that you helped me through, because once I worked on the areas that you told me on our call that what she was probably reflecting, because we had the same issues. Once I worked on my issues, we no longer have those problems. I work with her all the time now. She's super nice all the time. She never gets down on me like she used to. We've actually grown extremely close after it. And I was doing my 1 year, 5 year, like 1 month, 6 month goal list. And I put, we're going to have our last baby on there. And we are now having our last baby, 15 weeks, 3 days. I just had an ultrasound today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, your checklist of the things that you've manifested in 7 months is so incredible. I mean, I don't know how many people can put that many things on their manifestation list of these just amazing gifts that have come, from a baby to a home to a fully furnished house, food, support group. I mean, healing a relationship with your boss and having better work environment and more tips. Like, this is, I'm like stunned
Oh,
at
I
your
have one
progress.
more.
Okay, go for
I
it.
have one more talking
Of
about
course.
babies. So that cousin I was telling you about that I manifested at work, that she helps me through, like, when I can't get a hold of you, like, she's like that person. She has like that inner, she doesn't realize it all the time, but she's got that inner, just like I have for her. We have that energy that helps each other. But she has endometrius and she couldn't have a baby. So once I started your class, well, she thought she couldn't have a baby. Let's reframe that. Once I started your class, I was like, that's not true. You could change anything. I swear. I was like, you just have to change your mindset. And I started working with her on stuff. And guess who else is pregnant right now? She is.
Oh, I love
She found
that.
out right after me. Like, right after I found out, I was so scared to tell her because I felt bad, because I was like, oh man, like, she really wanted it. And she's like, it's okay, so am I. So I feel like I helped her work through her stuff from your classes, the stuff I've learned. I taught her, and they manifested around the same time.
And that's a beautiful thing about this work, is when we're getting results and we start sharing that with other people, by embodying it and then teaching it, we end up making a better world. Like, if every person learned what they could and then shared their knowledge and wisdom and supported each other, friends, family, to live their best lives, to believe in themselves, to shift their mindset and shift their energy, it creates this beautiful ripple effect, these waves of energy that just move through our friends, family, community, and through the world. And it really changes the entire collective consciousness if everyone helps one person, everyone does something for themselves, and then shares that beautiful knowledge, wisdom, and support, and all that positivity with the people around them. And the results are truly incredible.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I've talked to a lot of people that, since I've been sober, like that, I know people that seriously never thought they would change. My brother is now sober, like, from different things that I've taught him and stuff from the class. And I've talked to people online that I haven't talked to in a long time that will hit me up, and you just give them that piece. And I've just got told that I was greatly appreciated the other day for it, because nobody believes in them. And I was like, well, you have to learn to believe in yourself, but always know I believe in you too. And just, I give that one little, shoulder. I don't associate so much, but I will help guide.
Mhm. Well, I'm so inspired by you. Like, you're such an inspiration to me with the beautiful work that you're doing. You're such a light. You're just glowing, and it's just such a testament to how much you love and honor yourself, and how you are showing up for yourself, and not just for you, but you're showing up for your family, for your kids, for all of the friends and every person that walks in the door at work that you get to serve and be with. You're changing lives everywhere. And it sounds like sometimes you don't even realize it until the tip's there and you're like, I don't even know what I did. But
Yeah,
that's the beauty, of the light.
I've noticed that with
world.
my kids too. Like people will go places and people are like, your kids are so kind. And it's like, oh, it really is taking off. They learn from their mom.
Yeah, you're setting such a beautiful example for them, because children, they watch what you do. They see how you speak, how you show up, the actions that you take, your energy. and they learn from that, unconsciously. They're seeing all of that. And I mean, I'm so proud of you, and I'm sure your kids are just loving the work that you're doing and all the
Mhm.
results you're getting as well.
Yes, yes, and they learn from it too. They watched a couple of your stuff with me too.
Oh,
So
awesome.
they watched the posture one with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So with Soul Mastery School, if you could say what was like your top 3 takeaways, lessons, or things that you've applied, because we've talked about so many things, but if we could boil it down to like your top 3 favorite takeaways, what would those be?
I would have to say the self-love and like confidence that you helped to rewire, because that was a huge down point for me in life. Is that
Mm.
I had all the confidence in the world in everybody else. I could see love in everybody but myself. Like, and when I found that, it just helped amplify the love that I already seen in other people and understanding. But without that, I feel like the rest of it kind of, and to know that your thoughts like really, really create like your world, your whole reality. Like that, just reframing some thoughts can make such a huge difference. Like learning that and like really learning it definitely changed my life. That'd be a definitely top on the list.
Beautiful. And
And
those are probably my top 2 as well. And I feel like that's such a foundation and core because when I, like, even before I created my courses and I was just on my own learning how to master manifestation and the law of attraction, I had my list of things that I wanted to manifest. But what I found when I really started to pay attention and watch myself was that if you had asked me, I would have said, yes, of course I love myself. But the way I treated myself, I was so hard on myself. I was such a perfectionist and I would get frustrated with myself all the time. And I was like, wait, but those actions are not the equivalent of self love. And when I
yeah,
shifted and I decided, oh, I realized this pattern about myself is that I was hard on myself. I was getting frustrated with myself. I kept thinking it's not happening fast enough and blah, blah, blah. The whole mindset
yeah,
spiral that we all go through when we start learning the law of attraction, because we could become self-aware of where we're falling short in our own mindset and in our own habits. It was the self-love that changed everything for me. And when we realize what patterns are the complete opposite of self-love, and we catch ourselves and we stop it and we just keep coming back to being like patient and kind with ourselves, that is probably the biggest game changer when it comes to manifestation that people don't even realize. Or they keep thinking it's about the affirmations around the car, the house, this, that, but those things will happen naturally when you master self-love and when you master, it's like being confident in your own mind and in your own heart and energy.
yeah. No, I agree. Like that's why I like always go back to that. Like once I found like that self love, like that really changed a lot, because then I stopped doing things. Like I said, I was a very codependent person. So I was the kind of person that would give everything I had to anyone, but I never kept for myself. I never took care of myself first. And whenever anything was going wrong in myself, I would beat myself up. So like at work, if like something, if I was like 5 minutes late, I wouldn't let myself eat at work. Like I constantly like would punish myself. And like I'd get mad at like an ex, and I wouldn't take what he was giving me to eat, or the water, or just something stupid. But I always seemed to do that to myself, where it was like self-destruction all the time. And then I realized, like you said, obviously if you love yourself, you're not trying to destruct yourself all the time.
Yeah, and I
So
think
once
it's a
I started
common
changing
pattern. It's more common than people realize because it's often a blind spot for a lot of us. Like, it was a big blind spot for me. And once I realized it, the light bulb went off and I saw what I was doing to myself, because I was punishing myself too. It was this aha moment where I realized, wow, I have been doing this for decades. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But
that. That's very true.
it allows you to change that pattern, which is the game changer in life.
That's very true. That was it. Probably definitely the biggest takeaway. That'd be my number one for sure.
Yeah. So, for anyone who is thinking about joining Soul Mastery School and maybe on the fence, what would you recommend for them? Would you recommend them joining, and why?
I would recommend them joining. I mean, I thought I couldn't do it at first. I had 4 kids. I already didn't know how I was paying, where I was staying to begin with, but it's easier than you think of when you, like, really want something, and just what you get out of it is so much more than that, and you get it donated back to you at the end of the year, like, through taxes or however that works. You're investing in yourself, but you also get to count it as a donation, so it's like a double-sided good for you. You just have to take the leap.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing that people don't realize is when you invest in yourself, you get it back tenfold, a thousandfold, 100,000-fold in so many different ways. And for those of you who are listening and don't know how my business is structured, I am a ministry, which is a church. So therefore, anything that you purchase through my courses or coaching programs of any kind, it is all by donation to the church, which means this allows you to write it off as a donation, as a church donation. So when you do your taxes, what you pay for the coursework, you get to write off on your taxes, which is a really beautiful thing because that money would have gone somewhere else anyways. But when you can take that and you actually reinvest it into yourself and into your life, the reward that you reap is unlimited because of the results that you get. I mean, this has only been 7 months for you. I'm so excited to see where you are 2 years from now, 5 years from now, from the changes that you've made in who you are, how you show up, how you think, the actions that you take, and all of the amazing things that you are going to manifest down the road. This is just the beginning. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg for you. I can't wait to see what a beautiful life you continue to create over time.
Thank you. I can't either.
Yeah.
That just gives me that refreshing excitement. Like, this is just the beginning.
It really is. So thank you so much, Brittney, for coming on here, for sharing your story, all the amazing things that you've been manifesting, and sharing how diligent and honorable it is for the work that you've done within yourself, and that it's possible for anyone. I mean, you're a mother with 4 kids, and I mean, technically 8 with another one on the way. You're going to end up having 9. And if you
Yeah.
can do it, if you can find the time to do it with working and doing all of that, this is doable for anyone. So at this point, like, no matter how much little time you think you have or little money you think you have, it is so worth it. I mean, you are the epitome example of how much can change in such a short period of time by just finding time to make it work and doing the work, which again reaps so many more rewards than what you put into it in the first place. And it's just so beautiful to see. And you're such an inspiration. I'm so honored.
Thank you. And it really does help because once you get the first couple of modules down, like, if you end up running out of time, like, you get stuck in, like, I've done it a couple times now where I can't get to the coursework, but I have my notepad from all the notes I took, and there's just so many little things that you learn in the first couple modules that are just easy that you catch yourself doing throughout the day, like reframing techniques and vision boards or gratitude journals or dream journals, or there's just so many things that you incorporate that it takes probably years to fully incorporate all of it, that you're constantly still embodying different parts even when you're not, like, fully on the coursework. So it feels like I'm learning 24/7 regardless,
Hmm.
and I don't have to do a lot to get there. Like, it's once you've done it, the manifestations, or not the manifestations, the meditations for the 30 days, like, half of what you is in there, you remind yourself as you're walking throughout the day. Like, you'll have, like, a bad thought and you're like, "Oh no, but I really do love myself." Like,
And that's the beauty of this work too, where I think sometimes when people look at a course or a group coaching program like this, they get a little overwhelmed because they think, oh, it's going to take me so much time to do it, or it's so much money or whatever else they're all of the excuses that you're making. But in reality, I mean, you can spend an hour a week or 15 minutes a day and get through it in a month or so. And that's not that much time. Once you learn the information, you take the notes, then it's just incorporating it into your daily life. Like you said, you're going about your day and all of a sudden you catch a thought and you just reframe it. It doesn't take you any more time throughout the day to start mastering. You just have to remember it and apply it and do it. You can listen to some of the meditations as you're washing dishes or right before you go to bed. Like you were saying, you were listening to the money manifestation on your way to work. And then you listen to it so many times that it now reprograms your thoughts. So you're just going about your day, you catch yourself. And then one of the affirmations from the meditation that you've listened to 30 times,
Yep.
it's already in your mind. It's already in your mental programming. So you've laid the foundation, you've laid the work, and it just continues to work under the surface. And it becomes it's like a lifestyle thing where,
Yes.
you have to do the initial work to actually sit down and study and learn and take the notes and, talk about it and remind yourself of it. But then it just starts to seamlessly become a part of you, and it just becomes a habit. It just becomes who you are, it becomes a part of your programming, and it's incorporated into your daily life of how you show up. And that's where the change happens, because now you've become a different person. You show up with different habits, you show up with different thoughts, you show up with different belief systems. And that's when you get results. It just becomes a part of who you are. And that's how we effortlessly manifest. It's the work we do up front that then just becomes a part of your being. And it's almost as if you're not even trying anymore, because it's just, hey, this is who I am now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I say taking the leap is worth it, because you become a different person, like a
Mm-hmm.
person that you've been trying to get to for so long. Because majority of people probably, if you're anyone like me that find your course, you feel stuck. Like you're stuck and you don't know where to go next, but you feel like you might. And, but once you take that leap, like you become a different person.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Exactly.
understand and you still love the person that you were. So it's not like an egotistic, you become another person and you just like fake it till you make it. You literally embody somebody else, but it's the best version of you.
Exactly. And that's what the program's really about. It's a step-by-step process that allows you to just gently release the parts of you that aren't working anymore, and to consciously choose upgrades that you want, of who you want to
Yes.
become. And it's all you. Your whole life journey is always going to be you, and you get to choose the authenticity of the person that you're molding yourself into, and loving the old pieces of you that you're ready to let go of. And the beauty is you get lifetime access. So you can go through the course over and over again. I have so many students that come back, every 6 months or every year, and they redo the information and they're like, wow, I get it on such a different level the second time around, the third time around. And each time you do it over and over again, or you go back to a lesson. I know some people that just love listening to the videos on repeat. They have it on their app on their phone and they listen to it like a podcast in the car, and they just do it over and over again so that they master that information. And each time it changes them, it up levels, it raises the vibration to being more aligned each and every day with the highest and best version of themselves that they truly want to be, and that has the manifestations already.
Yeah, I would agree. I do that sometimes too. Like when I don't have time for anything else, I throw a podcast on. That way I can like semi listen while the kids are running around, but
Mhm.
I still catch good parts and then I'll go back and listen to it later. But
Yeah.
having the app on your phone really helps a lot too.
Yeah,
I have
definitely.
the app on my phone.
Good. Yeah. And it's easy because, it, I think that no matter who you are and what your lifestyle is, there's a way for you. I know some people, they like to sit down, Saturday mornings, block off 2 hours and go through an entire module of videos plus the workbooks and just have that time. Other people, they're like, I'm going to do it while I'm doing stuff around the house, while I'm in the car, I'm going to have it on my phone, on my app. And everyone has their own way of absorbing the content. And that's the beauty. You find what works for you, whether it's a little bit each day for consistency or sit down and then implement throughout the week. Whatever it is, you get to find your unique way of mastering the content and piecing it together on what's most valuable for you at any given time. And you can always go back to the coursework over and over again, find new things, and try different things, and just figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, I agree. That definitely works that way.
Awesome. Well,
And I like that because you're not strict on, like, you have to do this week and this week, or you're not doing it right, or you can do it any way that you want to, like you said. And if one way is not working, you can change to another way. Or if you have more time this week, you can do it this way, but next week you can do it however you want, and it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing it.
exactly. Yeah, we all have our own unique journey, and that's something that was really important to me is allowing for flexibility and uniqueness because every person needs different things. People work on different timelines. Like some people really like to go through the work quickly and apply it. Other people, they want to simmer in it and allow themselves to really absorb it a little bit more slowly. And that's the beauty of this is you get to do you in the way
Yeah,
that
yes,
works
you
for
do.
you. Good. Well, thank you so much, Brittney. It's been such an honor. And I hope that everyone listening is just inspired by your story and the commitment that you had to your work because it's really beautiful. And who knows, maybe we'll be doing a catch up in the next year to see where you're at and what else you've been manifesting so beautifully and
Yeah, I would love
effortlessly.
that.
Such an inspiration.
Thank you. So are you.
Oh, thank you.